Welcome to Keep the Hotel Empty. Today we've kept the hotel empty to welcome in Melodie and Collin from the band Cat Skratch. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, I'm stoked to have you here. So it's usually, we reach out to a band reached out to us, another band tells us, you got to talk to these guys, or a realtor tells us about somebody else, blah, 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 blah. But you guys are the first guests that have come by the way of a breakfast incident.
Oh, yes. That's hilarious.
Just a little disclosure to get off the ground of how you ended up here. I went to breakfast one morning, and it was just two of us, and the restaurant was busy, and they didn't have any spots for two, but they're like, hey, we got a table for 6 if some of you guys don't mind eating together. And Melodie's parents and myself and another group of people were like, hey, we'll eat together. And we just got to talking, and your mom and dad started telling me about your band, and I started telling them about the show, and I was like, well, we got to make it happen. So here we are, full circle from breakfast to interview.
That's like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh
So I'm really interested in your band. You guys have a really cool, raw, hardcore, somewhat reminiscent, but still new type sound. And I definitely want to get to that part. But if you could a little bit, talk to me where your musical journeys start. And whoever wants to go first, you can sacrifice one another. But
All right. Well, my dad was in some garage band. I guess they played kind of like bluegrass stuff in Germany. We lived there briefly in my childhood.
Crazy.
And I was 7 years old. I played egg shakers with him once.
Nice.
There's still some videos out there somewhere of that. But yeah, I started vocal lessons, theater, choir, all throughout elementary, middle, and high school. And then in high school, one day, I'm like, fine, Dad, I'll play bass. So I learned how to play bass.
So you got instruments in the house?
Oh, yeah. He's got guitars and he plays bass. So, I refuse to play guitar. But so I went ahead and I learned how to play bass. And, I've been singing forever. So I've also been into like alternative stuff forever. So, when I'm singing in the car, I'm singing alternative songs. So I kind of learned how to vocal fry a little bit, and I actually didn't even learn how to scream until well into our band being started, because screaming is kind of like that thing where you have no idea how to do it, and then one day it just like unlocks and
Right.
you know how to do it. So that day came for me like months into having our band together. But I feel like through my whole childhood I've been trying to start a band. All my friends, I'm like, let's write a song, like forever and ever and ever, like just always trying to passively start a band. And then when I was 17, the area I live in is just strip malls, so there's really nothing to do unless
Right.
you know where to go, and I did not know where to go. But I started meeting people online and stuff, and we went to shows and hardcore shows, and I just like deep dived on Instagram and like followed every venue and every band and every one that they followed and everyone that they tagged, and eventually I knew where the shows were and started going to shows, and I was like, I'm gonna start a band now, god damn it.
How long had you been playing at that point?
Well, I was 17 then, and I started learning how to play bass at 14 or 15.
And were you taking lessons, or your dad was just teaching you and you were fumbling along?
My dad was barely teaching me. I was just fumbling along. I was just learning how to play songs with tabs, and eventually I just was able to doodle when we started writing songs. Like, I wouldn't consider myself too like rehearsed of a bass player. Especially like the genre we play, like it's kind of like Kitty, or if you look at their guitar parts, it's basically key slamming. They just kind of do something real fast and it's like good enough.
Yeah. We're in the zone.
Yeah, the bass is always pretty basic. So, but yeah, me and our drummer Clara, we've been best friends throughout all of high school, and she was in drumline.
Oh, very cool.
And we were playing like literally about 6 hours a week of Rock Band on my Xbox.
Nice.
And I was like she had previously said that she didn't want to be in a band because she didn't have time, and I was like, girl, you are playing 6 hours of Rock Band a week. Like, if you spent that time playing actual drums, like, we could be a band. And she was like, oh, you're right. And then we started a band. Since then, we went through a lot of different guitarists. Me and Melodie met on Hinge and basically started dating immediately, and she joined my band also like immediately. And then we found another guitarist, went through that guitarist, and then we found our current guitarist Jayla like in November. And
Yeah, I feel like we've been Cat Skratch since Jayla joined.
Yeah.
We used to be maybe one, if not zero.
Yeah,
It's a little bit
our-
mouthy.
I was going to say, that's a long one.
We
But
changed it because of that. Yeah. Your turn, babe.
God, it's really hard to pinpoint. Like, I have a video of me, like, 3 years old singing every word to, like, this is real from Camp Rock.
Oh,
and,
nice.
like, I don't know. I guess performing started, like, 4, 5 years old on choir at church on stage for, like, a toy drive or whatever. That's, like, my earliest memory of performing. But I don't know, like, learning music theory in middle school, having a great teacher. Shout out to Mr. Lopez. He taught me everything I know. Doing things like all-state choir.
Well, that's something I like to really ask about. How important, and I think I know the answer to this already, but talk to me, I guess, about the importance of being able to learn music and study music in school.
I learned a lot of music theory in school. I went to college, YPAB, Performing Arts at HCC in Ybor. And I've always been, like, relatively good at it. Not great. I'm not, like, Mozart or anything like that. But it's like math. If you don't practice it, you forget it. And I've forgotten it because I dropped out of college. It would be so much easier for me to write music if I kept up with music theory in my head. I feel like if I, like, had it in my head, I would be better at writing songs and, like, chord progressions and playing what I want to play. Like, I see it, I can write it, I can play it. But it's a lot harder not knowing music theory for me personally. I can't say, like, for Clara or anyone else, but music theory would help me a lot in songwriting. But you definitely don't need to know it, I feel like.
Well, and that's actually leads me to my next question. You were saying earlier before we were filming that you can tell when you were singing flat. Is that something that you've always had? You could tell where pitches, you can hear things clearly like that?
Yeah. I don't have perfect pitch, but
Yeah.
like it's pretty relative. I can find any pitch off of like a C or a G. Like,
Right, yeah,
I base it off of other notes.
Yeah. The happy middle ground between perfect pitch and I can't hear what the hell is happening right now.
Yes, you get it. I never understood how, like, someone could be born and not hear something. I'll be like, can you sing this? Ah, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
You can't hear that. That's the same.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess, it's not necessarily a prerequisite to know music theory if you can hear what's happening. If you can't hear what's happening, then that's a different story. But one of the things, I always talk to bands about how they communicate when they're writing. So we're going to mission drift a little bit and go there since we're going there. And it usually comes down to who knows music theory and drives the ship, or everyone doesn't, or what's the case. So how do you guys handle communicating, hey, I want this to be like X, when you can't say, I want it to be a G over C and we're in the, A
Everyone
mixolydian.
does it.
We don't. We don't. So songwriting is so fun for us. It's so amazing. We love it and we absolutely hate it.
That's so
actually, so for some reason we sound good together. I don't know. Maybe 4 like mediocre musicians equal like amazing. Everyone loves us.
cool. Oh, that's greater than
Like-
the sum of your parts, and that's nothing better than that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Writing, you're so right. Like, I don't know, when we had a older, like, not an older, he was younger. Our old guitarist, he was probably the most well-versed out of, like, music theory, maybe, because mine had drifted my brain, and him and I would talk a lot, being like, oh, I want this to come after this. I actually had a friend come over to my house who is now, like, doing lessons and teaching people, helping me find the chords to a song I wanted to write specifically. And then I found the chords, I wanted it, and then our guitarist Jayla showed me something she wrote for that song, and I liked it 10 times better. And she don't know music theory,
Right.
so
we kind of wing it. Like, we use a lot more like genre terms than we did music theory terms. Like, and I want this part to be like, "Ga-da-doom." Like,
no, make it more chuggy. Make it more chuggy. Boom, 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 boom.
yeah, we
Like,
talk more about like chuggy. Like, I want something like pest control-y. I want something like tsunami kind of like here. Like, I want the kind of like drum beat here. Like, we only really use music theory talking about like triplets, you know what
When
I
I'm talking
mean?
to Clara, I'm like, ta, 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 ti, ti, ta. Like, I'm like, Clara, I need her. Oh my gosh, she always asks us to, like, instead of doing it, like, verse, like, I'll be like, okay, for the verse, you're going to do this. And she's like, I need A, B, C. What are you talking about, verse? Like, she's a drummer. She
I
needs
used
it,
to
like,
reading charts.
Yeah. I think that's very funny.
She
for her.
probably has the most like intact music theory knowledge, just because like with drums it's like triplet, quadruplet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's kind
She
of
also plays with traditional grip. It's pretty crazy.
yeah.
Well, that's actually, if I guess maybe it's a hot take, but most people will tell you that's how to get the most power.
Really?
Yeah, that's why Neil
Oh.
Peart from Rush, after a while, switched to that. He was already one of the world's most famous drummers, and then took a switch to a traditional grip, because it was a more powerful snare.
Yeah, she's the most
to
ripped
start
out of
off
all of
that way.
us. She is ripped. Oh my god, she's gonna laugh saying this. I call her Animal. I don't know who else does. She has huge red hair. She's banging on the drums.
Yeah,
That's Animal.
I was gonna say if you're a redheaded drummer, that one comes looking for you, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting to the point where you go to college and you're trying to pursue performing arts. Was the goal?
Yes, I love singing classical music. I wanted, I don't know if I was going to pursue music education or like classical performance, but like I didn't really get vibrato till I turned 18, which frustrated like the hell out of me because all throughout high school, like the people with vibrato, like I could be like 10 times better at music theory than them or like have like better pitch than them, but they got vibrato, they're getting the solo, you know? And then like when college came, I got vibrato, I felt like I was on the top of the world, and then everyone there is like 10 times better than me, and I'm like, oh, okay. But it was fun. I got to like sing a lot of classical pieces, and I kind of want to implement some classical, like this solo I got into like a new song. I've been thinking about it, but I love classical music. I don't listen to it much. I probably should listen to it more. I've been really into like synths recently, like maybe putting some like organs or synths in our songs, especially for a song Debaptized I'm writing, which I don't know. Dropped out of college, and then I had a band in high school. We were called Love Tuesday. It was like indie or whatever. I guess we sounded like an indie beach band. COVID came around. We never really got to do anything. I just had a whole bunch of unwritten originals. And then I like moved to Virginia and to take care of my baby, not my baby, my niece, my sister's baby. She is my baby though. Yeah. Take care of her, come back, meet Collin. And he's like, I've been trying to start a band. And I was like, dude, like, me too. What are you talking about? And then
wait a minute.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I can scream. And he's like, you can scream? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, show me. Anytime anyone says show me, I'm like, wait, I don't know how to do it. But but yeah. And then we go to your garage, and then we had Timothy Kapicki. He was awesome. He was sweet.
Okay, there's a story about. Okay, so Timothy Kapicki was literally my ex from like 7th grade, and we just like followed each other. Like we never really talked or whatever since then. And I was at the Speakeasy in Ybor, like chilling, doing some schoolwork one day, and he was just sitting there, and I was like, Timothy Kapicki? And I didn't know shit about his life. Like he was in orchestra in middle school. I don't know.
And I went to college with him in
Dang.
orchestra.
No, okay, so I was like, hey Timmy, what's up? Let's catch up, whatever. We're chatting, and apparently he's a guitar major. And I'm like, do you want to join my band, Timothy? Because this was shortly after Clara said that. So he was our like first guitarist, but he didn't have the schedule for it. It didn't work out. But yeah, he was there. We started covering like Flyleaf. We started off with that. But honestly, like our fourth guitarist usually determines like where we're at genre wise, I feel like. So during Timothy Kapicki, it's kind of like Flyleaf vibe, like indie, emo, belty, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then Sandy, she's like Clara's friend from high school. We were almost more like
Breeders-esque.
Yeah, like the Breeders, kind of like the Pixies. She wasn't really into that kind of stuff.
That's
cool. Then when Jayla joined, it's like, okay, yeah, we're hardcore.
She turned us
hardcore.
Yes. I love her. Shout out
Was
to her.
something building that up, or she just opened the door and it was just like, oh, wait a minute?
Well, we definitely were trying to be like harder. Like we always had harsh vocals and screaming and stuff. But like I don't know how to describe our sound, like screaming on like, what is that one song we had, like One Desperate Breath or something? It was definitely Flyleaf vibes. Like she doesn't, Lacey, whatever her name is, doesn't really scream a lot, but when she do, it be
screams
there.
Once.
Yeah, screams like once per song. That was like us. And our sound was very like inconsistent, but it's definitely becoming more consistent.
Yeah, I remember like in the beginning we would choose covers and we're like, that cover's so awkward, it's not hardcore enough. And then like our originals would have like a good balance, and then it's like, wait, this song is not hardcore enough. It doesn't go with the rest of our set.
I'm really like, we really write and pick our covers based off of like how the crowd will move. Like we want to make sure that like you ain't getting bored. Like you better be like spinning or something.
Yeah.
Like,
well, how important And this is another one where I think I know the answer, so maybe you can just tell me what it's like to feel the importance of the crowd interaction, because now we're getting to this time where it's DJs and AI music, and we're starting to lose, I think we're starting to maybe move away from some of what you're talking about. So I'm curious how it is for you.
If people aren't moving enough during our set, I get into the crowd and I push them
Yeah,
around.
we will jump off stage, grab your collar, and like throw you on the floor.
Anyway,
Sorry,
I
it's what
love
you
getting
signed
in
up for.
people's faces like this. Like, probably like.
If you're coming to a hardcore show and not expecting to be like punched, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong place. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You do not want to find Melody in the pit. You do not. You do not.
Well, talk to me a little bit about then hardcore culture, because that's something that a lot of people don't really get, especially when you're looking at people two-stepping and just winging fists, and it looks like what it isn't. So talk to me a little bit about the coming into the hardcore world then, since that's not where you started.
Yeah, I definitely didn't start there. I didn't go to a local show until I started performing them. Like, I was like, oh, look at them. Look at that crowd. They're like moving. And then I'm screaming and then they're moving more. And I'm like, oh my God, wait, look at that. Oh, wait, they're punching each other. Ah! And then I'm like, wait, I can punch them too. And it's, I don't know. At Rockville, Rockville moment, our neighbors were like, oh, the kids punching each other. It's getting violent. And that's not what we're here for. And I'm like, if you're not here for that, you better get to the back.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
I like I said, like I got into the scene when I was about 17, and like right off the bat, like I think my first show was like some weird goth show, and on the poster, like it was like some guy with a synth, and there was this person dressed as a like clown, and they were doing these interpretive dances and running through the crowd. It was nuts.
Sounds pretty goth.
But it had like a poster on the wall for the show that happened the next day. It was a Capra show. That show fucking changed my fucking life. I love that band so much. I worship them actually.
Well, what was different about that show?
Well, it wasn't God.
She's God.
It's super.
She's a
She's
god.
like very hardcore, like post-hardcore. And you know the pit was going. One of the bands that played with Capra like brought one of their drums into the middle of the pit and was like banging on it, beating it, and breaking it up. And you know the pit was just really good. And like all the shows I went to since then that you know had at least a decent enough crowd, like had a pit. And it's not like I never knew what a pit was, but like. You know, and I'm chronically ill. Like I'm not in the pit the whole time. Like I'm in the pit for like 30 seconds and then I'm good. But like, you know, it's just like a part of it. It's always just been there. And you know, obviously my goal when I'm screaming stuff on stage, I'm like, if there's not a pit, we're not doing it right. Like,
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know where it started. I don't know the history of fucking mosh pits, but like it's definitely like important. It's awesome. It needs to be there. And I like that crowds get rowdy like that. You know what I mean? I just think it's super important. And people who don't like fuck with it, like you don't have to be in the pit. Like it's very avoidable.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
for sure. But for the people that don't fuck with it, what do you think are some of the things that they misunderstand, or they couldn't understand until you at least spend 30 seconds in the pit?
I mean, I completely understand not wanting to be in the pit. I mean, you're gonna get hurt. That's the whole point. If you don't want to get hurt, don't get in the pit. Like, it's very reasonable not to want to get hurt. Pit is honestly a little reckless, Melody. She has so many injuries from Rockville and from not enough space. Like, you rolled both your ankles multiple times. You pulled muscles in your thumb. She's covered in bruises. Her eyebrow piercings got messed up.
Both my eyebrow piercings are gone from sleeping with sirens. I was wearing a cowboy hat and like two-stepping and punching people in the face. Sorry.
Oh, you're
my
good.
God, I'm breaking everything.
That's all right.
I just
We'll
spread
make more.
violence everywhere I go.
Good. This
It's
is
contagious.
demonstration.
Yes. And like I'm like using the cowboy hat to hide my face, and then like I get like bonked, and it's like boom, and both my eyebrow piercings are like basically flip, and there's blood dripping down from my face, and everyone's like, "Hey, do you know you're bleeding? Do you know you're bleeding? Do you know you're bleeding?" Yes, I know I'm bleeding. I could like feel it and smell it. Like, oh my gosh.
And you basically got concussed from Dance Gavin Dance, right?
Yeah. No, the Devil Wears Prada took me out. I loved it. I've been waiting to see the Devil Wears Prada forever.
That's the part I'm curious about, though, and explaining to people who don't get it. But I loved it part.
I loved it. I don't like to work out. I got a gym membership that only Collin uses. I work out
Well, you
by
got the membership.
I got it. I work out by playing Pump It Up at my job and moshing. I mean, it's like physical exercise. It's fun, and I get to punch men in the face. That's what brings me joy. Is that like grown men are high fiving me and are like, "Hell yeah!" when I'm hurting them, and it's like, "Yay!" Like everything is equal now.
So the love it part of it is it's an equalizer.
Yes, I've never everything you're asking me. I've never even thought about. I'm like, people don't like moshing. Huh. They think it's weird. Huh.
Well, they don't understand it.
Yeah.
And moshing can have some very different faces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a push pit versus like
Crowd
bitches jumping
pit.
around doing karate. Like,
You got it.
I like a push pit. I can't lie. Like
I like an empty pit.
a lot of bitches. That's insane. Like a lot of people talk shit about like the push pits and like it's too gentle or whatever. But it's safer. I mean, in the karate pits, if you fall, you're gonna hit the concrete. In a push pit, if you fall, you're gonna hit someone else, and you're not gonna fall on the ground. You know what I mean? Like,
And you're basically
it's safer.
forcibly scooped back up.
Yeah,
I
like
think it's very heartwarming. Like if you fall, your community is picking you up. Everyone's like, oh, everyone, wait, there's someone right here, pick them up.
Yeah, it's very energetic
It
and
builds a
close.
sense of like family. The people you meet in the pit are people you're gonna see at every show. Like, oh God, we're gonna punch each other in the face next show. Like, come on. Like, it's very nice. It definitely like portrays what's being performed on stage into like it's like I don't know, for my Little Pony watchers, like when the sirens sing and they feed off the negative energy that their singing creates, it's like, oh, we're singing on stage and I can like see our energy juice in the crowd and they're drinking it and beating each other up.
oh my God, I saw someone post that mosh pits like look the same as gas molecules. Like they had the same formation.
Yes.
That's so sweet.
Well, they actually did a study on that where they put they ran simulations of molecules, atoms together, and they just started letting them randomly crash into one another until they started to crash into each other in somewhat recognizable pattern. It took a long time for that to develop. And then they took overhead shots and crowd footage from mosh pits, and literally the same formations developed.
Where
And
did
then-
you find this?
And then
That's crazy.
like really
That study was
crowded.
done a while ago, like maybe 15, 20 years ago, maybe at this point. 10 for sure.
But I think this is interesting is that when it's really, really crowded, it moves like liquid. And you feel that in the crowd when you're getting crowd
like
crush at
watching
Rockville.
it from like above at the House of Blues in Orlando. Like we were on like this hop stage. I think it was the Garden, the mosh pit down there. It was like liquid. The whole crowd was like moving like that. It was
Yeah.
weird.
There is some weird subatomic force at play there, I think. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Somebody tried to uncover it. So the real reason why I ask that is because I of course have a horse in this race. I think it's very important to have the give and take between an artist and the crowd. And I see like some of that becoming like eroded, and I'm wondering how much it's important for you to keep waving that flag to make sure that happens.
It's very important to me. I mean, hearing you say that like makes me sad. Like, that's so sad. Like, what are you gonna do? Go to a show and stand there and bop your head?
I can't lie.
Well,
like,
it's not even the going to a show part. This is my curse. I had a boss at one point when I worked briefly, and my boss was a lifelong Nashville guy, and he scarred me by saying, you know, Eric, someday you're going to have to go to a museum to see a musician play live. And that horrified me and stuck with me. And actually, the third interview we did for Keep the Hotel Empty was a gentleman who has, in fact, played in a box in a museum so people could come watch him play. So it's already happened. So I'm always curious where people are at in the continuum of what live music means to them, what you think it means to people, and how it affects you personally.
It's actually crazy hearing that because I don't resonate with that at all. Like, I feel like live music is here, and I mean, obviously you've lived through more live music than I have, but like, I feel like it's alive and well. It like,
Good.
I feel like, you know, Rockville's pulling bigger and bigger numbers. It's the new, Warped Tour. Like, people come to our shows. We have no problem, like, having our show. I mean, sometimes we have problems because we play too many shows in a row and, less people come. But, like, usually on our good shows, we have a good amount of people there. We make good money. We have good interactions. People are moving and people are in the pit. Like, we haven't really had that kind of problem. And I haven't really had that problem, like, in crowds that I've been in, like, at shows. Like, I mean, I feel like the problem now is that bitches are moshing to anything. Like, people are actually moshing to anything. It's not just like punk music anymore. It's genuinely anything that's even a little bit fun. Like, people are basically having push pits at the Brat tour. You know what I mean? Like, people are there. They're excited about it. They're moving. They want to go to live shows. I mean, I've just seen it be super active with my own two eyes, at least in Tampa.
I'm like young. I'm like a baby. I'm like relatively new to this. So like hearing that like stuff like that is already happening is like frightening. But like,
well, it's changing. I mean, and everything is always changing. And, you know, that's the thing. It's like for a band like you know, who's at the level that you're at, normally your next spot would be like Crowbar. Well,
it is our next spot, actually.
Yeah.
We have our next show there.
And in a year when Crowbar is closed, now a band like yours has to try to find a way to get from Oscura to Rockville.
yeah.
So I'm always curious, like, and I'm very happy to hear. And all the Tampa bands say that. And I really do think there's
Tampa
a really
scene
healthy,
is
awesome
alive.
scene in Tampa and
There
St.
is.
Pete and trickling down into Bradenton too. So, you know, big ups to that. Everybody's supporting. And that leads me to my next question that I wasn't thinking I was going to ask you, but I will. It seems that a lot of the camaraderie and a lot of the coolness amongst bands and people supporting one another is because this whole tip of the ego has to die thing has become like something we can talk about. In your band, is it something like no egos is the policy, and that's a way to keep this pure?
As long as our egos are working together. You know what I mean? Like, of course we all have egos. I mean, we all have feelings and egos, and we want attention, and, you know, we want to be, you know, who we are. Like, I mean, I think Jayla's the only one in the band who doesn't, like, really want spotlight.
We definitely worked through that by creating characters of ourselves.
Yeah, like,
Tell me about that.
Yeah, we've had, like, okay, first of all, the character thing, like, we have, like, a lot
Stage
of, like,
names. We have stage names.
lore
Right, yeah.
and plots and shit like that obviously we haven't really had the opportunity to display that yet because we've had a lot of delays recording and releasing music because we have a ton of singles but not recorded and released. And I mean, I am kind of the writer for the music videos and I have them all written and none filmed. We started filming the I Hate Women music video, but I mean, we're having a lot of delays with that too. So it's like, yeah, we do have a lot of plot, but I think where we get through the ego thing is like, we're really good at like talking about our feelings and mediating and compromising. And I think that's where a lot of bands fall short is that like they just end up hating each other, especially male bands. Like they end up hating each other, beating the hell out of each other and arguing because they don't talk things out and come to a compromise and talk about their feelings. And that's probably one of our like greatest strengths, honestly, because we also like we assign these jobs. So, you know, Clara and Melody's in charge of booking and Melody's in charge of like the music itself and the tech and making sure everyone's rehearsed, and I'm in charge of costumes and I'm in charge of music videos and Jayla's in charge of merch, like
And feeding us.
feeding
A
us.
feeding us job. She's the cook.
And then we have Sam, who's in charge of like wellness and health because they're an EMT, so they're like our pit medic that comes with us everywhere.
Love it.
And then we have Hannah, who's in charge of, you know, making our videos and editing them and posting them. So like we have a good team. We talk about our feelings, we get our jobs done, and it helps us really stay regulated and not like hurt each other's feelings and have these expectations of what's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely a different answer than anyone has given. So
Yeah.
did you guys delegate from the get-go?
Pretty much.
Yeah. We've always had jobs. We've always tried to be we're all girls who aim to be healthy and communicate. And it's like very important that everyone is heard. There is always compromise. We're not like, I'm not like the lead singer. We're like double fronted. And even Clara's gonna, we get like birthday shows. Clara gets to sing her song.
Hell yeah.
Like Jayla.
Hell yeah.
Jay got to do Theory of Mind because Jayla wanted to do it super bad for her birthday. So we covered Theory of Mind by Kubla Khan. And I don't know. It's very important that all of us are heard and like we each get our own spotlight and we all have our own like characters so people can like, the goal is to like honestly implementing a little bit of like VK or like K-pop like ideals where there's idols where we're all like characterized like this is Swayzer, I'm creepy, Jayla's Nancy normal person, and Clara is Destroya, and we all want to have like in our music videos we're all gonna have different like, we're at the very beginning of that, but we have it all planned out. It is all planned out. It's very in depth, very like
We probably have everything planned for the next 2 years.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
you know, but then that inevitably leads to the, oh my God, I want to do it all right now.
Yeah, we're struggling with that. We wanna do it all.
That's understandable. Well, you said one of the magic words, single. I like to ask about this because this is another one where, okay, I'll make myself old. Back in the day, you would release like a single, maybe 2 before the record, maybe 3 if you were the Chili Peppers or something, you know what I mean? But now you're kind of incentivized to release singles all the time, make sure you stay fresh. How do you guys feel when you're going to write? Do you think we got to write another song, or are you to the point where you want to write a record and these are just the songs that are going to be the record?
So, okay. This is a complicated answer.
Yeah, that's a complicated answer.
So, okay, we had a handful of songs that we wrote. We just wrote them. We weren't thinking of anything. We just wrote the songs.
Yeah, I forgot about this.
And I got high one day and I just like strung them all together through this elaborate plot that's only in the music videos. Like, the songs aren't too obviously about a plot, but like through the music videos it's like, oh, that's what happens there.
Gotcha.
And there were a couple of holes in that plot where it's like, okay, well, we need to write this song there. So we have like a couple of songs that are written for the plot, and then like most of the songs were just written as their own thing. You know what I mean?
And that's the way you thought of it from the jump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
releasing wise,
it's just desperation at this point. Like,
yeah.
Like, we're having.
Do you
so
feel
much
like the hamster wheel vibe though? Like you have to release something. It's like, oh man.
Yes.
I feel like everyone is like wanting to hear more stuff from us because we have our single "I Hate Women" out, and we were thinking about releasing like 1 or 2 more singles from the album of like "I Hate Women," or I'm not sure what we're gonna call it, but
Yeah.
The concept album.
the concept album. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
trickling them out, and then like trickling like maybe like 2 or 3 more, and then releasing the album as a whole,
Yeah.
possibly.
So you do want to put out a record.
We're
Yes.
only putting those out separately because we don't have the time or money to record and produce all of our songs that are on the concept album, and we're really just trying to release ASAP because we only have 1 single out, and we have like
Bigger and bigger
10
shows coming up for us
Yeah.
that are like, how are we doing this? We have 1 song out. Like, what do you mean?
and we have like 10 originals. we have a lot of originals that just aren't recorded or released yet, and the only people who know them are people who come to all
the
of our
shows.
shows. Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, we're really just scrambling to release our music.
Yeah, we're struggling. Like, none of us, I don't know, and like, I don't know, Gloomchild has their own, like, in the band, they record their stuff. None of the 4 of us know how to record or know, like, the tech side of it. So it's hard trying to find someone that's reliable and trustworthy who could also, like, make what we are writing sound how we want it to sound. Like, I'm personally dealing with the music right now, and trying to find someone who I can trust to do it in a timely manner and how we want it is, like, kind of difficult.
So that you sort of read my mind there. How do you handle tracking, or how have you handled it thus far?
It is a pain in the ass.
I mean, so your dad put us on to these
Audibility.
Audibility.
They're awesome. I love them.
They're so good. They have a beautiful studio. They're really good producers, but they have other clients, and we're antsy. So, you know, we're also like
Broke.
messy as hell. So like,
Not just regular messy.
Yeah.
Messy as hell.
So like, you know, we're like, oh, we want to get it out sooner. Can we pull the tracks and have someone else mix it? And we're probably a pain in the ass for them, but they're so good at what they do. So we went back to them to record, but they're not.
So
getting
you have stuff tracked?
We have
like
stuff recorded.
3 more songs recorded that we're trying to find someone to mix and get it out there for us as soon as possible. We wanted to do it before our tour, which is at the end of this month, but like, I don't know if that's gonna happen. It's not looking like that's gonna happen. I don't know. They're great. It's expensive. We are having like more money come our way, like manifesting it. Money is falling out of the sky. Like,
Nothing wrong with
I
manifesting.
actually found $1,000 under my pillow last night.
that's so nice.
Yeah.
See? Damn. I found $90 in a little drawer thing I had, and I thought I hit the fucking lottery.
I would actually cry.
$1,000 though? That's fucking rare. That's rare.
No.
That's I was gonna
I'm
say.
manifesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man. No, I was like $90. I felt like a millionaire. I was like, damn, how did I lose this?
Well, I didn't get paid for the week I went to Rockville, I saved like a shit ton of money thinking I would have some left over. No, I spent like all of it. And
Yeah, of course. Yeah, right.
I didn't
We
have
spent double what we did last year.
I didn't have
That plan only
money.
looks good on paper.
Getting paid, didn't get paid that week, and then like on the floor was just $170, and I'm like, gas, food, give it to me.
Nice.
And I was like, is this anyone's money? No, it wasn't anyone's money, so I took it. I'm surprised no stranger was like, yeah, that's mine.
Of course, yeah.
Genuinely
Well, if you catch anybody off guard, they got to be quick to lie.
Yeah, you're right.
So, how much recording have you done? Did you do all the stuff that you have in one session, or have you gone and done this? You've got some experience with it.
We've had a couple of sessions, like actually maybe a couple, like literally two. Yeah, we went to record our single "I Hate Woman," and actually, the guitarist that was going to record that like dropped out on us that day. So I had to scramble, and I was like reminding them for months, hey, make sure you have this day off. Make sure you have this day off. Make sure you have this day off. We're recording "I Hate Woman," and they were like, sorry, I have work. We go to the recording studio. Clara forgets her double bass pedal. And me and her drive to the Guitar Center, luckily like 5 minutes away, and he's there with his friends. He just bailed on us. This like douchebag just bailed on us.
That was the universe letting you catch his ass, though.
In the recording of "I Hate Women," how hilarious.
Yeah.
We got fucked over by so many dudes
recording that song. But I called another dude.
I make no dude excuses.
I appreciate that. But I texted a dude who like the day before posted like a Paramore cover on his Instagram, and I was like, hey, can you emergency come over to my house and like learn a guitar part write it. He basically wrote it because the guy just, we were gonna ask the dude, I don't know what a name drop, ask the dude who bailed on us to like, hey, can you get these tabs out to this dude this day?
Yeah,
like,
right.
So this dude like on the spot made the guitar part for "I Hate Woman" that we recorded, and then went to record it over there with us.
Well, shout out to all the 11th hour guitarists.
Yeah, he was really good. Like we're not on like a bad note with him. We didn't have a horrible fallout with this guy, just some like I'm mad that he didn't buy me coconut water type vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, there's more to it.
Well, that's some serious shit.
He's reliable. He was reliable. He was super sweet, and he's younger. He was honestly probably like he's just young.
So
reliable.
what was some of the stuff that you learned right away going from rehearsals and playing live into recording? What was some of the stuff about recording that hit you right away?
Luckily for these guys who are recording us, like we recorded it all together, playing it live, and each of the part was different, and like we didn't need that many takes. Like it was pretty good. Yeah.
So you tracked everything live.
It was chill.
Love it.
It was chill. It was not too much of a like adjustment, honestly.
The only thing we've had trouble with is "Arms Embargo" the second time, because that song is like fucks you everywhere. Like that song is so weird.
So did you intend to track it all live, or did you think you were gonna do?
We had no idea.
I had no idea what to
I can't lie.
We're all very inexperienced.
You just walked in and was like, yo, we got songs. How do we do this?
It's time to record or whatever.
Love it.
And he was like, all right, take off your shoes. Let's go.
Because recording live is much less common.
Really?
Way less common. Incredibly less. In the 70s, in some of the 80s, it was real commonplace. And date myself again, but all the Ross Robinson albums, like the first Korn records, the first Limp Bizkit albums, those were like the first albums that were recorded live again, and it was like a big stink. It was like they recorded those songs live.
Wow.
You know, the Indigo Ranch, they all just sat up in one room.
We recorded live.
Yeah, so that's very interesting. Do you record to a click, or you just straight perform it?
So we had a
some
click,
of the songs,
and then we were like, this click ain't working.
Well, okay, we had clicks for some of the songs but some of the songs we did it because it had like time signature changes.
Yeah,
it got weird. So like I think like
Arms
I Hate Women, we had a click. SPD, we might have had a click.
SPD, I personally did not use a
or
click.
good
like,
for
we
me.
all have a choice if we want to mute it or keep it on. I don't use the click.
Yeah.
Like it.
Well, you can get away with it. Well, no, you play guitar.
Yeah, I play guitar. I didn't play guitar for anything we've recorded though yet, have I
guess not. Wait, did you play at Blum's?
I played at Blum's.
We knew this producer guy named Joe Blum.
Joe Blum.
And he we just
shout out to him. You should interview him too.
Yeah, it
he
was just
makes
like
Tampa music.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
you were on a track for him.
Ghosted Muse. He asked me to sing on it. It was my first like, oh my gosh, someone asked me to sing on a track. And it's Ghosted Muse. It's on Spotify. It's on everything. Joe Blum. He's very creative. He has very good.
Yeah.
Like he's really good at what he does.
Very
we
cool.
We were trying to rush it, and he was only available like every other Sunday, and you know it wasn't happening how we wanted it to. So we ended up just trying to find another producer. But we had a lot of like fun tracks with him.
Yeah, I forgot about recording with Blum. We actually recorded a handful of stuff with him. Like,
but you played guitar with him,
Yeah,
didn't
I
you?
played guitar recording with him because Sandy wasn't able to make some of it, so I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just play her part. And wow, I forgot about recording with Blum.
So let me ask you this: now that I've let the cat out of the bag, that sometimes you multi-track and it takes for fucking ever. If you had the choice, or going forward, do you see recording live as something that you want to stick to? And do you guys particularly find the vibe has to happen, everybody doing it at once?
Yeah,
I like it. I do.
I feel like sometimes when you're recording, like, it's like, okay, Claire's playing too fast. Or it's like, you know, like, you're not playing all together. And, I mean, I've only really experienced this, like, making shitty covers on GarageBand or whatever, where, like, I'll be like, okay, I'll put down the instrumental track, and then I'll sing over it, and then I'm, like, trying to sing over it, and I'm like, why is the timing so weird? So sometimes it's just, like, it just works better all together.
Yeah.
Especially because we have no practice and we only play live. So, you know, it just feels better, I guess.
That's why I asked about the click, because I was like, okay, because I figured this is probably better au naturel.
Yeah, we kind of
Jayla went back, like, some parts, like, Jayla had to leave for work in the middle of, like, a recording session on her birthday. Poor girl.
Oh,
work
man.
and recording on her birthday.
Oh, that ain't right. That's not even right.
She came back and a couple weeks later to record her part over it, and like there's times where we'll go back and fix certain parts of it, which is nice, but I do like recording it all together. And I love recording with Audibility. They're actually great, and
they're so nice.
yeah, they're really nice. I love them, and I don't know if I ever want to leave them. They're pretty
I
awesome.
don't, and we need to stop pulling our tracks from them to try to get it done faster. We just need to let them do it. Like,
Yeah.
if we let them do it and didn't pull it out this time, because this time after we put down like an EP worth of songs, like we got impatient. We pulled the tracks from them to try to find another mixer. Couldn't find another mixer. They were taking long as hell. If we left them with the tracks, they probably would be done by now.
Well, that's very curious. What was the difficulty finding someone else to mix it? Budget or someone who didn't get the vibe?
Yes.
Budge. I don't think that Audibility
it's-
doesn't get the vibe. They definitely, like, I Hate Woman sounds great. It's very raw. It's very hardcore. But for, like, Cat and Mouse, it's one of our other originals. I feel like I want it to sound more new metal, as an NEW, like Not Enough Space type vibe, where, like, I don't know, the vocals of it are like the silhouette of your body. We don't really have a song where we sing a lot, and that one has a lot of singing in it.
Well, that was actually going to be my next question. You keep leading me right to him. You're like breadcrumbing me here.
There you go.
You have a background in more what people would call traditional singing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a temptation to keep that out of Cat Skratch, or is it like you want to find the way to get it in tastefully?
That's a really good question. I want to find a way to get it in tastefully. I feel like this new song I'm writing, Devaptized, definitely has more of, like, not a classical sound of vocals, but a lot more showing of what I can actually do vocally.
Swan chorus
vibes. I don't know. Like,
but like Arms Embargo and I Hate Women are our only songs that we scream the whole way through.
Okay.
Like, it's just kind of coincidence that it's the first one that we released, because when we were choosing, I think we made it the first one we released because of all the issues with our guitars not being able to go. So we were like, okay, what guitar part can we play without Sandy? And it was I Hate Women.
yeah.
So it's a complete coincidence that the full screaming song was the first one we released first. Like, all of our other songs have, like, I would say kiddie level of screaming, singing, but lately we've been trying to make more complex vocal parts because we both have, like, a pretty good range.
Yeah, no one knows that Collin is, like, better than Amy Lee. Like, like, no one knows that Collin is a crazy vocalist. Like, he's a really good singer. We don't get a chance to, like, put that out there a lot. Like,
So then that kind of begs the question, how much, like, genre defining do you feel like your songs have to have? Do you
We just be doing whatever.
Yeah, we just be doing whatever. I recently have been thinking about that actually, like, what genre are we even? Like, I don't know. I guess people are like, okay, we're gonna put this on the bill. What's your genre? I'm like, It's.
do you
I don't
just
know.
say like hardcore or metal to get it over with?
We usually say new metal hardcore. New metal hardcore is.
I
what we
really
go to.
want to be like new metal. I really want us to be labeled as new metal, just because like I feel like the only new metal girl band is Kitty.
That's
like
my biggest
that people
Yeah.
think of,
Or
at
Cold
least-
Chamber.
Yeah, but that people think of first thing is like only Kitty, and
Yeah.
we want to like okay, this is a bit of a tangent, but like I feel like all the new metal bands are so steezy, like Limp Bizkit and Korn, like they're so swaggy, steezy, like, and the girl bands are not steezy.
What do you
like
mean?
that.
Like, cause they got rich part of the show?
Like steezy, like. How do you even
Like
explain-
swaggy,
like
like-
swaggy, like swaggy drip,
Like
steezy,
like drippy, swaggy. Like,
They don't look like hood rats anymore?
Yeah, no, exactly. They look like hood raps.
No,
Oh.
like they look swaggy and steezy, like Fred Durst and whatever. But the girl bands that are new metal, like Kitty, they're not steezy.
Oh, I follow you. Okay, I got
You know what I mean?
got
They're
you.
not
Yeah.
swaggy like that, and
Yeah.
we want to bring the steez to female new metal.
It's interesting that
Okay,
you're saying
I got
that.
you.
I actually think it's interesting that he's saying that because like maybe we could bring the steez like with vibe and vocals, but presenting wise, we can't be hood rat drippy steezy like that because we have such extreme looks.
Well, but we're steezy at heart.
Okay, everyone can
Steezy
know that
at
we're
heart.
steezy at heart.
That should be on like a sticker. You could have Cat Skratch, Steezy at heart.
Oh, that's good. Steezy at heart.
Oh, that's too good. So I guess that kind of begs the question, as all of this has, if you don't worry about what genre you are or aren't, do you worry that that kind of makes it harder for you to get gigs, or as long as you can stay anomalous, you'll just walk in whatever door opens?
We haven't had a lot of problems getting gigs. We've had gigs thrown at us
So
more than we've had.
we have
too little gigs.
Too many people trying to get us on shows. I think because we look so cool, everyone wants us there. They don't even care how we sound.
No,
Like-
genuinely.
Like, what are you doing getting like us at like a Slam Doom show?
We play
Like-
a lot of slam shows.
Do a lot of Slam
Nothing's
shows,
like
and it's really weird. I'm like, okay, yeah, these like
like
little girls.
we played a Breeders cover at a slam show.
and people were like, yeah, that's really funny to think about. Actually, I don't know if you look
And what's
cool,
going through your head at that point? Are you in the wrong spot, or are they in the
No,
wrong spot?
we're so insecure. We're on stage like oh my god,
We
this is
do
not
here.
hardcore enough.
Yeah. No, I definitely like genre. That question that you're throwing at us is like such a big like hole of like that's something that like I have been thinking about a lot. Like genre wise, do I want to conform to being one genre that is like recognizable? Because like rationalizing it, people are gonna love us either way. We are four pretty popular girls who are all talented. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like you want to be like Swancore. Like you want to be like post-hardcore Swancore. Jayla wants to be like slam metalcore. Clara, I don't know, she's a rock and roll girl. She's hardcore. And I'm also like I would say I like hardcore, like thrash kind of stuff. So, we all kind of bring that to it and just end up doing whatever. And we all like each other's ideas too, for the most part. So, we just kind of let it happen and try not to worry too hard about genre,
Yeah, because it can be something. Well, I mean, you worrying about it isn't going to change anything, but you, especially heavy bands, you wind up too heavy for this crowd, but not heavy enough for this crowd.
Exactly.
We
and
play that all the time. It's like we're the heaviest show at the like indie
What are we
show.
doing at Cafe Hey with like 3 indie bands?
Genuinely?
Like, yeah, start a pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny.
It's kind of funny, but it's not really causing us problems. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's a little awkward or funny. Like, why are we trying to get people to move so hard at the most indiest show ever? Like, why are we playing indie shit at a slam
we
show?
were at like this indie show at Cafe Hey, and like no one was moving till like some guy started doing somersaults and cartwheels like right in front of us. Tiny room, and he's like doing this craziest shit, and then there's like finally movement, and I'm like yes, and then the next band that goes on is like an acoustic guitar. And I'm like, yes! It was really funny.
Well, sometimes the juxtaposition of it is cool,
Yeah. I
but
guess
that's
you're
a
right.
fucking
We
hard
definitely
left.
stick out, I think it kind of benefits us in a way because I feel like we're very memorable because every single show we do a like themed look I'm very strict about this because I'm the costume manager or whatever. We do a themed look. Everyone is wearing coordinated outfits, and sometimes our friends and our fans like also come in the theme because we'll post about it.
Very cool.
So it's like those guys who are all dressed like that. Okay, that's Cat Skratch. And then we get on stage, we do something that no one else at the show is doing. And so I definitely feel like we're more memorable that way. So, it definitely hasn't given us problems getting shows. It's good. It's good.
Eventually, we'll be at Guar level. Like, just trust. I want to be like Guar.
Doing fucking crazy shit on stage.
Yeah.
Our next show is gonna be probably the biggest production stuff that we've done so far.
We're doing, like, super high level princess ball
And that
gowns
one is at
handmade.
Crowbar? That's the one
Yeah,
at
it's
Crowbar?
at Crowbar. We're playing for Babe Haven.
Oh my gosh, dude! I started.
What's the date of that one?
The 14th
of June
of this month.
Okay. Well, this will be in the past when this comes out. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I was listening to Cat Skratch radio, like bands that sound like us or whatever, and this band Babe Haven. I was what song was it that started? I don't know. It was the one with like the dogs barking. They're like, rawr, 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 rawr. And I was like, wait, and I'm like, I really like this band. Like, I want to use them for inspo. So I listened to all their stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so good. And then like 2 weeks later, we get like hey, you guys want to open for Babe Haven? And I'm like,
It's just, we were so gagged about it because it was the first show we have ever played with someone who we
actually
knew. We had in our Spotify. We had in our Spotify before playing a show with them. You know what I mean? Because we've blown apart after we played a show with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were so gagged. We were so excited.
I was gagged. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're opening for the Babe Haven.
In my fucking city.
Yeah.
In my city. Oh my god, my city, like literally my city. That's crazy.
So you'll play all original songs for something like that.
Yeah, that was the goal. Unfortunately, we are going to have like 2 covers on there.
No, it's gonna be good though. They're good covers because we're covering I Kissed a Girl.
We're like making our own version of I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry.
Nice.
Yes.
I'm excited about that.
Obviously,
that'll be
lesbian
cool.
fronted band has to do that song.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like that's where the pressure has been for me on the people, on like my girls. I'm like, guys, we need to finish writing this song. We need to finish writing this song. We cannot be doing covers at like Babe Haven. Like, what are you talking about? At the Crowbar?
But everyone loves like our Kubla Khan cover, so I'm not even mad that we have to bring that song out.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we will be
could be
keeping
worse
Theory of Mine.
if everybody hated it or was like, why are you playing
Yeah,
this?
like people like our covers, and especially like we usually have a Kitty song on our like lineup. Like we know Charlotte, Brackish, Spit, Get Off. Yeah,
and we know a handful of Kitty songs that we can just always throw in there. They're always like encore, and I'm like, okay, Kitty.
Okay,
Kitty.
It's
Kitty
Get
encore.
Off.
Yeah, Brackish is such a classic too. Like if you can't get moving around to that song,
might be the one we throw on there. I'm
you've
not
lost
saying it's definite, but it might be the one we throw on there over there. Because like if we're gonna be at the Crowbar, it's a girls' night.
Girls' night. Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so might be doing.
Aren't we doing it with Peace Cult?
Nothing has been definitive.
Oh. We learned Brackish because Peace Cult was like, hey, do you guys want to like play Brackish together and like jump on the mic or whatever? And so we all learned it, and we haven't gone back with it.
No, that was like an idea that never came to like fruitful or whatever. It's
Fruition, yeah. See, I'll be thesaurus on the side.
I'm just gonna grab Emma and be like, get on stage.
Yeah, but they talked. We did a show with them at Spot, and they're like, hey, maybe we'll do Brackish.
That show was legendary.
And I was like, okay. And then I was like, everyone learn Brackish. And we just never messaged anyone about it, so I don't know if it's actually going to happen or not.
We have to do it.
But we're going to do
it. Well, you just said, when you want to say to the girls, we got to get this done, we got to get this done. How does that happen?
Yelling.
I'm like,
no, I mean, like, do you, because you said you don't practice traditional practice. I mean, how does that get done? Do you tell me you got...
So, let me take you back to, like, when I am, like,
we practice
soprano lead of choir. I'm like, so you need to send me a video of doing measures 1 through 38. Like, I'm like on top of them about homework.
Okay.
Like, you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to show me that you're doing it. You have to have your roommate sign off that they're annoyed with you playing the drums. Like.
So you got everybody's on task, and then you come together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And everyone with their jobs gives out tasks to everyone. So with costumes, I'm honestly on everyone. I'm like, this is how I want you to do your makeup. This is how I want you to do your hair. Please tell me what like outfit items you have to wear. And I have deadlines for everyone. 1 week before the show. 1 week before the show, you have to know what you're going to wear. You might not have it all together yet, but you have to know what, so you know what to buy. You have time to buy it. And then 3 days before the show is duffel day, and you have your outfit in a duffel bag with everything you need. Like, we're strict on that, And Jayla's in charge of merch. She tells us you have to make fucking 30 bracelets and you have to go, like, iron on the t-shirts. So, like, we all delegate tasks to each other. Most of the time they don't get done, but it's chill. It's chill.
Me and Clara do booking.
Yeah, I mean, without being like regularly practice regimented, that's got to make all of that like exponentially more difficult.
Just not enough.
Let me tell you the issues with practicing. So, we are all 20 years old. We are all like getting out into having our own places. Like, we are trying to move out with our guitarist. We actually have a house tour on Thursday.
Nice.
But
hell yeah.
Having like, I live in Riverview, or I probably shouldn't. I live somewhere this way. I live that way, and then Clara lives over there that way. And it's like, oh, the only place we can rehearse is in like their suburban gated neighborhood at 11 o'clock at night, or on the USF parking lot on the very top roof at 2 a.m.
Yeah, literally. Because we all work too, so it's like if someone closes, we have to rehearse at midnight.
Exactly, yeah.
So we get in like 1 or 2 good rehearsals a week.
So is that safe to say then the answer to my question of what is the biggest challenge you have right now is juggling everyone's schedules?
Schedules. Because we all work full time. We're all full time workers. Claire's a student too.
Yeah.
Like, gosh, it is.
And studing isn't easy.
No, so getting like all of our schedules to line up is like the only time we have to rehearse is past 12 a.m. Yeah. Actually, we're going to rehearse tonight at like 12 a.m.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
Love it.
On the roof of the parking garage in USF.
Catch us there. We're going to be like, hey.
That seems unbelievable.
It is, because we're going to get arrested tonight.
We're there for like 3 hours, and then the cops pull up and they're like, you're about to get a sound complaint. I can just tell. And so we have to pack our stuff up.
Yeah.
We never actually get a sound complaint. They're always just like, you should pack up because you're about to get a sound complaint.
The cops have rolled up on us like a handful
every
of
time.
But a lot of
that
bands...
is some straight DIY shit though.
Yes.
Just one
DIY
rehearsal we can.
No,
Fuck
DIY
it.
is insane in Tampa. Like, there's insane DIY shit. Like, there's a lot of house shows, a lot of, like, Cafe Hay is super DIY, a lot of DIY vendors, all the bands are DIY. Like,
shout out to Barter Box, not Tampa, but it's like the Lakeland venue is the Barter Box.
It's either DIY or you're a sellout.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
because everyone's poor. I mean, recession indicator. Like, it's either DIY or your daddy's rich and he got you signed to a record label. Like, genuinely, there's no in between.
Then you can jump the middle ground.
Yeah.
Well, I have about 6 million other questions for you, but let's get you out of here on something fun, and maybe we'll do this again sometime. Well, one of the things that we do is album deep dives. So when you do get the EP out, we should do an album deep dive. We go track by track through the song. It's fun.
Definitely.
Okay, so here's your fun one. And this is, I preface it the same way every time. I'm like little broken record over here. I ask this question not because I want to know who your favorite bands are, but especially for a band like yours that can be genre fluid. What you see as the best way to present your music. So if you can pick one band, one venue, you can each do it. I don't care. And this is my tagline. I don't care if it's the Beatles on the moon. Who would you play with and where would you play at to show Cat Skratch to the world? This is your complimentary Cat Skratch soiree.
You go first.
Me first? Oh, shit.
Okay.
I don't think hard about venues.
Yeah, venues is a hard one, but definitely Kitty.
Yeah?
I need to open for Kitty. Like, they're what I think about when writing music is definitely Kitty. You're my inspo. Like, even, like, we've been messaging Kitty Pig, their non-alcoholic beer thing, and we like, took photos and stuff for their brand. Like, anything to get closer to Kitty. Anything to get close to you. We are clawing at them. I mean, Cat Skratch. Like,
yeah, who's the band that they did that in partner with? It's another
like
female-fronted band.
It's something with a pig, because it's Kitty Pig.
Yeah, and she's in L.A. A blonde-haired woman, I can't think of her name. She's a total sweetheart. Oh, hell, I can't think of her name. Anyways, that's a very cool endeavor. And as far as venue, it doesn't have to be a specific place. If you want to be in a giant warehouse or a stadium or whatever, I don't care. You don't have to be like a specific place.
Ew, I would do it at, like, in front of an ice cream shop or something.
That would be cool. Kitty at the ice cream shop.
Yes.
Kitty, Cat Skratch, ice cream shop.
Yes.
I love that.
Can I have 2 bands?
Yes, there are no rules.
I'm going to say Pest Control and Lie.
And Lie.
And Lie.
That's, like, doable.
Okay, what kind of bands are those?
Pest Control is like hardcore like thrash. They're so good. Please check them out. They're literally so good. Oh my god, I fuck with them so heavily.
Latinos run hardcore, motherfucker.
Yeah, they're like Latino hardcore band. And the roof of the White House in the Oval Office.
Love it.
In the Oval Office, opening up the pit.
Singing Arms
in the
Embargo
Oval Office
at the White House.
Oval Pit.
Wow.
Oval Pit. You might have just coined something right there.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I can't thank you guys for coming down enough. It's been so cool getting to meet you. I can't wait to check out more of your music. I can't wait to see you live. And I'm definitely going to check out what was Pest Control.
Yes.
And Capra.
And Capra. They
Capra.
played Dia de los Deftones. That was so good. It was so
See,
good.
you can always, I'm always into new music. Never be afraid to send me new music.
Okay,
So,
great, I will.
Melodie, Collin, thank you so much.
Thank you. I am
Thank you
so
so
sad
much.
this is over already.
Well, we'll do it again.
Okay, I'll have